Broadcasting live from the Mage Ring Network on the plane of Vryn, this is Tap Tap Concede. Because a couple episodes ago, we were broadcasting from the Mage Rings.
Yeah.
This on the plane of Vryn. The Mage Rings is a plane card from Plane Chase.
Which is what art I used in the intro.
And Mage Ring Network is a land card from Origins. So
just cue up the more you know graphic in your head.
Yes. And this week it's also the more you hear. You might be hearing some background noise. Nothing at the moment, but if you hear anything, we apologize. There's a construction site next door, and they've spent today filling every internal cubic foot with gravel, and then they're refining the gravel to a fine dust.
Apparently this is a very important part of construction, to make as much dust and noise as possible.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it previously, but here we are.
Well, yeah, but we're not construction experts.
That's true.
So.
I'm no constructormans.
No.
We are magicmans, or at least we're fans of it.
We pretend to be.
We're here to talk about magic. And actually this week it's a mailbag.
It is.
It's your questions. James put out the call on Twitter earlier today, and we're going to be going through some of the questions that you sent to us at the @LRRMTG Twitter account. But I guess first we should crack a pack.
Crack a pack.
Woo! All right. Fling the big die across the room. We've got all the packs now in one box.
Well, that's organized.
And about these ones are the 1 to 20, and these have yet to be cycled in, but what we can do now is put new ones at the back and cycle everything through.
Yeah.
So I think this will work out okay.
And then we also have a nice new place to put all of our Crack-A-Packs.
Yes, we have a box labeled Crack-A-Pack.
And we'll be putting basically every Crack-A-Pack in there from now till Desert Bus, and then maybe we'll do something special with all the packs.
Ooh.
Who knows? But for now, let's crack a pack. Let's roll the dice. It went away. Oh, God. It's 14.
All right. 2. Okay, this is a little more difficult now. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14. Whoop. Ooh, this is a pack of Torment.
Ooh, it's English. That's exciting.
It is.
Thank God.
This was given to us by Kid Spanner at GP Vegas.
Hey.
Thank you, Kid Spanner.
Yay. That's a pretty good turnaround on the time between giving it to us and the time to crack your pack, too.
Yeah, we still have some in there from PAX East. All right.
I mean, that's just how the die rolls, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, I recognize this first card.
Yeah.
This one's been reprinted recently, or at least shown up in Magic Online recently. It's Mesmeric Fiend. Ooh. It is a 1/1 for 1 and a black. A nightmare horror. When Mesmeric Fiend comes into play, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it. Remove that card from the game. When Mesmeric Fiend leaves play, return the removed card to its owner's hand.
This card's sweet.
It's great.
You almost always play this card in your black deck.
This was reprinted, in heavy air quotes, most recently as Brain Maggot.
Yes.
In Theros block.
Yep.
I think the difference is being one that, of course, it was an enchantment, and that it was printed with the new sort of wording for this.
Which is when Brain Maggot
sort of
enters
thing.
The battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand, and you choose a non-land card from it, exile that card until Brain Maggot leaves the battlefield.
Which is all one ability now.
Yeah, which is...
So you can't do the sort of bounce shenanigans you used to be able to do with stuff like Fiend Hunter and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. What's number 2? Crackling Club. It is a creature enchantment.
Okay.
Not an equipment. Single red mana, creature enchantment. The enchanted creature gets +1/+0.
Okay, please tell me it does something else.
If you sacrifice it, it deals 1 damage to target creature.
Next.
Yeah, no, this card's
Flavor text.
Super
it
bad.
adds injury to injury.
I mean,
yeah, because if you're playing it, you're like, what am I doing
it's
here?
only 1 red mana, so it's not like you're spending a ton of mana.
no,
do
but
anything.
it seems like a pretty big waste of a card.
Yeah, not amazing.
Yeah.
What about a floating shield?
That sounds lame, but let's hear it.
Yeah, it kind of is. 2 and a white enchantment, creature enchantment. As floating shield comes into play, choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect does not remove floating shield, so you can give the creature pro white and the shield won't fall off. Sacrifice floating shield. Target creature gains protection from that chosen color until end of turn.
That's interesting.
So you can throw the shield off one creature to protect another creature.
Yeah, which is not the worst, and maybe you play this on a creature, a big beefy creature at the end of the game and get in for a lot of damage because maybe they only have like blue blockers or red blockers or whatever. But overall, this seems kind of not very good.
The art on this card, apart from being weird, is also slightly pixelated on the printed version.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks very sci-fi to me.
That is odd. Weird.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I know that there was...
Oh, wow.
Maybe it was Torment. I know that there was some early set, the white cards had some sort of printing issue with. Maybe it was this one. Next up, Soul Scourge. He's got too many eyes. It's a 3/2 flying nightmare horror for 4 and a black. It's a 3/2 flyer for 5. When it comes into play, target player loses 3 life. When it leaves play, that player gains 3 life.
Interesting.
So the nightmare horrors seem to be doing this thing where they come into play and take something away, and then when they leave, you get it back.
Which is weird because it's just like...
So if this thing doesn't die, it just domes your opponent for 3 when it comes into play, and then you start hitting them for 3 in the air.
Yeah.
If it does die, it sort of changes your math.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And I don't know about this ability. It seems weird. Like, if something scares the crap out of me, and then whatever scared the crap out of me goes away, I don't just go back to a state
You don't get your crap back.
Yeah, I don't get my crap back. My crap's long gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's exited the building, so to speak.
So to speak.
Interesting.
It's a weird one. Crozen Constrictor is a snake, James.
Okay.
Hiss.
2/2 for 3 and a green with Swamp Walk.
Okay.
But you can tap it, and target black creature gets -2/-0 until end of turn. That's weird.
That is kind of weird.
It's super strange.
I like that it has flavor text from Braids on it.
It's a slithering cold-blooded menace. I've got to respect that. Braid's Dementia Summoner. I don't know how I feel about this card. I don't think it's that great. Eddie. Specifically Churning Eddie. It's sorcery for 3 and a blue. Return target creature and target land to their owner's hands.
Yeah, I mean, it's sorcery speed, but...
That is interesting.
That seems fine. Like that
target
seems like
creature and target land.
That's a pretty interesting tempo play.
Yeah.
It's a good tempo play.
Yeah.
I like Into the Void better, which is the same cost and speed for 2 creatures.
Yes.
But a creature and a land, yeah, that is an interesting tempo hit. I kind of like that.
Okay.
What about Rancid Earth?
Okay.
1 black for a sorcery.
How could I tell that was going to be a black card?
Destroy target land.
No.
Threshold.
Oh.
So if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, instead destroy that land, and Rancid Earth deals 1 damage to each creature and each player.
I mean, I guess against the right deck, that's interesting. If you can pull off
if you have Threshold and you're playing against a token strategy.
Yeah, if you're playing a bunch of X1s and you can get Threshold, then it's fine.
These creatures look like dwarves, and I don't think dwarves are typically X1s, but I could be wrong.
Dwarves are typically in Magic.
Seems kind of messy.
That's true. They haven't been for a while. Maybe they'll come back someday. Cephalid Snitch. No one likes a snitch. It's a 1/1 for 1 and a blue. But you can that's it. But you can sacrifice it, and target creature loses protection from black until end of turn.
This is so bad.
That is weirdly specific.
Quite possibly the worst Magic card I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty bad.
Not really, but it's a 1/1 for 2.
I mean, that goes into the Strictly Worse cube.
And absolutely, that goes into the Strictly Worse cube at a 2-drop in blue. But that's super terrible.
I'm gonna put this one to the front so we remember it.
Wow, some very realistic looking Therese Nielsen art. Sonic Seizure. It's a single red mana for an instant. As an additional cost to cast it, discard a card at random from your hand, and it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So it's Lightning Bolt, but you have to discard something at random.
That seems terrible.
I mean,
now we did just see a card with Threshold. So in this format, getting something into your bin might not be that bad.
Yeah, if you're playing like a Threshold, like a red-black Threshold Reanimate deck.
I actually had no idea this card existed.
Okay, neither did I. But it seems kind of not great. I mean, I guess if it's just like...
I hate the idea of pitching a card at random. The at random really hoses it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if this was like just discard a card, from your hand.
It'd be too good.
Yeah, the card would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Croson Restorer.
Okay.
Restorer.
I don't think that plays in Scrabble.
It's a 1/2 for 2 and a green. Druid. It's a human, but you can tap it to untap target land. If you have Threshold, you tap it to untap 3 target lands.
Okay, that seems great.
Not bad.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, Arbor Elf does the same thing, except for Arbor Elf is a 1/1?
It's a 1/1 for 1, but it only targets forests.
Yeah.
This can untap a land.
Yeah.
This could untap
Land.
a bounce land.
Yeah.
It doesn't say basic land.
No.
Yeah, no, this seems sweet.
Untap 3 lands?
This card seems
Threshold?
very good.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're looking at pretty late in the game when you're turning on Threshold, so
Still,
a 1/2
though.
is like pretty squishy, but yeah, no, this seems sweet.
I like it. Unhinge is a sorcery for 2 and a black. Target player discards a card from his or her hand,
Okay.
and you draw a card.
That's interesting.
So instead of
Black card draw.
the same cost and speed for Mind Rot, which is they pitch 2,
Yeah.
in this case they pitch 1, but you draw 1.
I would rather that, actually.
Yeah.
I think I would rather them ditch 1 and I draw a card than they ditch 2.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
How about some Sickening Dreams?
I'll pass.
Well, tough. It's 1 and a black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, discard X cards from your hand. And Sickening Dreams deals X damage to each creature and each player.
Wow. I mean, if you have a way of filling up your hand,
Yeah.
And if having stuff in your bin is
just play
useful.
Griselbrand, draw like a bunch of cards, and then play this and discard a whole bunch of cards and just kill everybody and everything. That's sweet.
I mean, there's something to be said for just popping this off early.
Yeah.
Discard 5.
Check this out. Pyromania. Why isn't this in my Jaya Ballard deck?
I mean, it could be.
2 and a red for an enchantment. 2 abilities. 1 and a red, discard a card at random. Pyromania deals 1 damage to target creature or player.
That's not great.
1 and a red, sacrifice Pyromania. Pyromania deals 1 damage to target creature or player. I think I just figured out why it's not in my
it's
command.
I was
Very
going to
good.
say,
Yeah,
you
it's-
probably looked at this.
Kind of not good.
I mean, I guess to get stuff in your bin.
Wow, and part of the same cycle, but in blue, Compulsion is 1 and a blue for an enchantment. For 1 and a blue and discard a card, draw a card.
Okay, that's sweet.
For 1 and a blue and sacrifice Compulsion, draw a card.
Yeah, this card seems
This
fun.
is
This
way
card
better.
is awesome.
Yeah, this card seems amazing.
It's discard a card and then draw a card is rummaging.
Yeah.
Rummage on a stick.
Rummage on a stick in blue.
In blue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That seems great.
Interesting. Not as good as looting,
No.
but still.
I mean, hey, sometimes you just want to pitch some land.
Sometimes you just want to draw a card.
All right. And our rare is the Hellbent Raider.
I bet you it has Hellbent.
It is a 2/2. It doesn't, because
Oh.
Hellbent wasn't in this set.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 2/2 for 1 red with first strike and haste, which is already sweet.
Yeah.
Discard a card at random. Hellbent Raider gains protection from white until
what?
end of turn.
If that was like Hellbent, this Raider gains protection from any color until end of turn, that'd be sweet. But from white,
how is
really?
2/2 first strike haste for 3 is sweet.
It's fine.
how is
But
that
its
a
ability-
rare? And the Croson Restorer is a common.
I don't know. This is a weird set.
I would not first pick a rare.
No.
No.
Like double red for a fairly mediocre creature. I'd like rather just take the Mesmeric Fiend or something like that.
Yeah.
Because this is how I roll. I would absolutely take that Compulsion. I feel like Gib.
Give all those cards.
The first cards that go in our Crack-a-Pack box. How very exciting.
I did actually drop the really terrible card, not on
yeah.
purpose.
I'm attached to the headset. There we go.
Poor card. All right, well, that's an interesting set.
I tried to save it from going in the box, but
Just so you guys know, Torment was the black set.
Oh.
Okay.
The whole deal with this was all the other sets, or all the other colors were big in the previous set.
Ah.
And so now this one is
Plane
specific black.
Interesting.
Was it Plane Chase? Is that the one?
Um,
I'm trying to remember what this.
this is Odyssey block.
Right.
So it was Odyssey,
Plane Chase,
Torment, and Judgment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Odyssey, Torment, and Judgment. Interesting. So that's why there's all do this with black creatures. This thing has Swamp Walk, get protection from black.
or protection from white.
Weird.
Weird.
All right. Well, let's move on to the
I don't know if that was a good idea.
bulk of our episode, which is Mailbag.
Mailbag.
So, as Graham mentioned at the start, I asked everybody out there on Twitterland, if you follow at LRRMTG, if you want to get in on this in the future. We got a whole bunch of questions. We actually were prepared. We went through them beforehand.
Slightly more prepared.
Oh my God.
And picked out about a dozen to go over.
What's wrong with us?
If you're watching the video, you're going to see the questions pop up behind you, which is just crazy
Behind
innovative.
you?
Behind
If you're,
you.
if you're
behind
listening
me.
to the video,
If you're
I mean,
listening-
you can imagine that, but it's not going to happen.
But I'll just read out the questions for you. So,
Fair enough.
we have a couple questions here, so let's get started.
Okay.
First question. Favorite basic land art, period.
Oh, God.
I mean, I guess question mark, but...
Yeah.
Something that Therese Nielsen did at
So,
Karuland.
I have mine right here.
Okay.
Full art Zendikar's Plains 230A is my all-time favorite art on a basic land. And it's cheekily referred to as Lemon Square.
Lemon Square.
And you'll see that once Paul brings it up, why it is called Lemon Square. It is just a very bright yellow card. Are you able to see it, Paul? Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's my favorite, easily my favorite. My current goal actually is to so in my Pauper Cube, my Pauper Cube land base is all full art Zendikar,
Right.
but they don't all match. So that's the end goal, and this will be the planes that I choose.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's my goal. That's my favorite
Are
basic.
you excited
land art.
for return to or battle for Zendikar?
Yeah,
And
they better bring back full art. Or
I can't imagine that they won't.
If we
flip my shit.
ignore the, as you said, the Therese Nielsen Guru lands,
Oh, right.
which are
Oh,
really,
God,
really
those
pretty.
are incredible.
Much love to basically anything by John Avon, particularly his Unhinged stuff and his Ravnica stuff.
Yeah.
But I really, really like. Mine's also a full art Zendikar one. It's the island with the bubble around the hedron.
Oh yeah.
I don't know which
can look
island that
that up.
is.
Well, this is also John Avon artwork. I
It
just
is
noticed.
too. I only just noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that until fairly recently. I just really like A, the art, and B, the nickname.
I do like the floating bowl islands as well.
Yeah,
but
the floating bowl islands are sweet.
the bubble, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I think that's actually that's Cam's preferred.
Yeah, it's, by Veronique Mignot.
Yeah, that's Cam's preferred island of choice.
Well, when he's running Izzet decks, he has mono Veronique Mignot lands because she also did the mountain that's the arch.
Oh yeah.
The full art Zendikar mountain that's the archway. I remember getting a Zendikar fat pack back in the day, and like every one of the mountains was the least interesting one. It was the picture of like the village of like hammocks on the side of the cliff, and it's like, why would you have that when you could have this one, which is super cool?
Well,
Do you have a favorite basic offhand?
I mean, there's that swamp. I think it was that one.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's a swamp in M10.
No hate to Vincent Proc.
I think M10 is the first place it shows up, and it's
Prosec.
it's got like purple flowers in it. I've always liked that one. I don't know if it's actually an M10.
A swamp with purple flowers.
Nope, that is ugly. That is not.
It's a
that
swamp.
one.
It's supposed to be.
Sorry, Dan Fraser.
No, it's like. Well, I'm sure he was following the art brief, but it's got like bright purple flowers. It's very girly looking for a swamp. Not as girly as the Lorwyn swamps, but.
Hang on, I'm just going to look for every swamp.
That
been
will be
reprinted
easy
a
to
bunch.
look through. There will be a lot of options.
Maybe it's an M11.
Well, they look for that. I guess, Paul, are you looking for it as well? I have a runner-up for another one, which is the Shards of Alara Plains 233D.
God, you're very prepared, James.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about planes, but this Shards Plains is my favorite non-full art basic land. So I don't know what it is about planes when it comes to basic land, but they generally make me the happiest. I do like mountains too. Mountains are pretty sweet.
I'm still trying to find.
Still trying to find it.
I'm looking it up on a different.
Just you're like, show me all of the swamps.
Yeah,
all
there's
swamps.
there's the plains that I'm a huge fan of.
Oh.
The rolling dunes.
Do
like
you know
that.
what those look like? Meringues.
Yeah.
Maybe you just like
Maybe I
desserts
just
themed
like
cards.
Yeah, maybe I just like
That that's unique because you're not really much of a dessert person in real life.
Not really, no.
Although one time I saw you get an eclair and I was shocked.
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
that was
really?
in Vegas.
Oh, that one.
That eclair was...
It's an M11 swamp.
Oh, well, geez. I was one course
By
off.
What's...
John Avon?
John Avon.
Well,
the
I didn't know
collector's
that.
Collector's number 238. There we go.
Yeah, I've always liked that one.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
The Time Spiral. I have a black and white commander deck, and I have all the Time Spiral swamps and plains. I don't know how to... Oh, there we go. There's different ones. Specifically... The Time Spiral plains are really interesting looking. I don't know. We could be here all day looking at...
That
We should
beautiful
just go to the
Johnny
next
Avon art.
question.
We could do a whole episode on basic land is what we're saying.
We sure could.
All right, next question.
Moving on.
Best commander for a budget deck.
Ooh.
So-
I don't know.
My go-to answer for this is the pre-constructed commander decks. Like,
Yeah.
if you're looking to get into... unless you're...
I mean, those are budget decks.
Yeah, they
in
are budget
comparison
decks.
to commander decks anyway. So yeah.
Like if you're
But
just
they're
cracking,
really good.
Yeah, if you're just cracking into commander, I highly suggest going out and picking up just whatever commander deck that Wizards has put out in the last couple years that sort of floats your boat the most. Because care and consideration have been put into those decks, and they're fun. They're fun, and they'll execute
They're fun
well.
and they play well.
Yeah, so it'll give you a sense of kind of what you want to do in the format, and it'll give you a chance to play other decks and see what other decks do.
And you can get in,
And
and
be
then
able
you
to
can get in
compete,
for
so-
anywhere from like $25 to $40, depending on.
Oh yeah,
The
I
deck
mean, you
and-
can spend commander deck can be $10 or it can be $10,000 if you wanted it to be, right? I
It'd be tough to find a $10 commander deck, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could make like a pretty
Make Pauper, I guess.
Pauper, or where there's only a few options for your Pauper commander, but they're all pretty cheap. So
Yeah. If you actually do want to put together a budget deck and you want a budget commander, is Sig River Cutthroat? He's commander eligible, correct?
Yeah, is he budget?
I don't think he's that expensive. I think he's maybe $5 or $10.
I mean, that's the other thing is that I would say just when you're getting started,
he's not like any kind of $30.
Thanks, autocorrect.
like when you're getting started into commander, I think the biggest thing is
He's a legendary creature.
Sticking with like one or two colors.
Yeah,
Don't
he's
go,
like $6.
Yeah, $6.
Like
there you go.
don't go nuts. But this guy's sweet because at the end of your turn, if an opponent lost 3 life or more, you draw a card, which is going to happen a lot
At the end of turn.
at the end of turn. Yeah,
Not your turn.
Yeah, just
at the end of
any turn. And that's
If an opponent lost 3 or more life.
yeah.
Yes.
Basically, you get to draw a lot of free cards.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's cheap because people are going to kill him a lot. But then he still doesn't cost a lot to recast.
Yep.
I like that.
I really like Sig and like I said,
He's very you.
yeah. Well, look at the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's a good commander. Blue and black have a lot of good, not super expensive spells that you can put in there. I mean, you can throw in damnations and stuff like that, and that'll skyrocket the price of your deck. Well, throw in a damnation, it's commander. But the point being, there's good cards in blue, there's good cards in black. You could make a fun deck, and he is a good commander. And like I said, $6.
I like
All
it.
right. What loose story thread would you like resolved? I'll leave this up to my Vorthos-loving co-host next to me.
Right, because this was the question was in the panel at Comic-Con. Rosewater was saying that they're looking to focus more on story stuff going forward. That's allowing them to go back and tie up loose threads.
Right.
And before PAX East, I would have said Zendikar.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened.
Yeah, because they just kind of left that hanging.
Yeah. Now,
Maybe Nicol Bolas.
Nicol
Well,
Bolas.
he'll be back,
The
I'm sure.
Phyrexians, obviously.
I feel that actually
See
got
what
tied
happened.
up pretty well.
I want to know
They
what
won.
I want to know.
Well, yeah, but now what do they do?
Yeah.
They have a
don't
whole
stop-
planet
Yeah, I don't think they stop there, though.
or a plane.
I realize that this just happened, so it's barely a loose thread, but I want to find out what's going to happen with Elspeth,
Yeah.
because they did that little tiny tease at the end of the sort of Theros story reel with a shot of her gold returned death mask, and I want to know if we're going to get black white zombie Elspeth.
Right.
I'm excited.
All right, sweet. Next up is another art question. Favorite non-land origins card art?
This I actually did research.
Oh yeah.
I like Dark Dabbling because it is cool art, but it also I think it does a really good job of telling the story of the block. Like, it's Liliana, like, literally, like, this looks cool as F, right?
She's dabbling.
Yeah, and she's, like, it looks like she's got, like, a glass of absinthe and she's dropping the sugar cube in, but that's probably not what it is. The point being, like, one, it looks good, right? Two, it tells the story of the car, of the block, which I really like. Like, I mean, cool-looking art. There's lots of cool-looking Magic art.
Yeah.
But this is double purpose, which I like.
So I've got two. I looked into this as well. On the one end of just like a cool image, Days Undoing.
Yeah.
The sort of the new kind of time twister effect, just because it's a really cool. It's the doorway in the sort of the twilight kind of gloomy, stormy looking area, and through the doorway, it's all
It's nice and pretty.
nice and sunny.
Yeah.
And then for just like a cool creature design, I really like. I think it's Chief of the Forge. It's like a artifact construct. Like, I think preview the nickname podcast. I think he's some sort of like centauropede.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Whoa. What the?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Chief of the
before.
Foundry.
Sorry, Chief of the Foundry. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah. This guy's super cool looking.
Oh, you know what? You know who's also super cool looking? Enthralling Victor.
Oh, Victor. Getting hot under the collar.
I
thinking
love
of
that card.
him and his 12-pack.
Yeah.
I don't frequently chortle when I look at a Magic card, so I can
At
appreciate
least twice
that.
during the pre-release that came up. How many abs does this guy have?
All of the abs. You know
He
how
has
you don't
all of
have
them.
any? That's he took them.
Yeah.
This guy's a jerk.
When they sent us the Mage Ring Responder to have as our preview card, they said they wanted to give us Enthralling Victor because they thought we could do something funny with it.
Yeah.
But because it was part of the preview starter packs, it had to be spoiled sooner.
Right.
In the spoilers.
Also,
in the spoiler
that
cycle.
card is legit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like
it's
that card
really
a lot.
good.
It's real good.
My
What about
favorite art, card art in Origins is Exquisite Firecraft.
Ooh. There's a lot of really cool looking burn spells in this set.
Yeah, so I really like this card because it's just there's so little there. It's a lot of black.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Damn. Like, I just love the fact that they use as much black as they do in the whips around. Oh yeah, and the fire hair. No, it's so good. That's easily my favorite. Paul?
It looks like a black velvet painting.
Wow, burn.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Really? I feel
Black velvet paintings are awesome.
I feel like you were in the minority with that opinion.
All right.
There's a hipster,
Sweet blacklight painting.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God! There's
Had
a
that on your
hipster
dorm room
burrito
wall?
place in Vancouver called Budgie's Burritos that exclusively decorates with black velvet paintings.
They sure do.
Dear God.
Did you not notice that before?
Oh no, I did. Their,
All right.
their burritos are
yeah,
fantastic.
it's vegetarian friendly. If you're in Vancouver, go check
Try
it
them out. Also, give us money for that plug.
Yeah,
Moving
sure.
on. What format would you draft if money was no object? I mean, alpha.
Triple World Wig.
Triple.
Can you draft alpha?
I mean, you
What?
could draft anything.
I mean, I guess it'd be funny.
yeah. No, I mean, no questions asked. Triple alpha, or maybe alpha, beta, unlimited, like one of each.
Sure, why
Wait,
not?
no, Alpha, Beta, Unhinged.
No, God, no. Get unhinged out of my draft. No, yeah, just straight up alpha, alpha, alpha.
No, what would I draft if money was no object? A format I liked drafting, but is prohibitively expensive to draft.
Like,
at least
there's
in my
nothing that's
opinion.
like-
Nothing that's like
Nothing is like
Like-
so unbelievably expensive. Like, even drafting like
Modern Masters 1.
Modern
is
Masters
not-
1 or even revised.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's expensive. It's going to cost you about $180 to draft, but that's not.
That's prohibitively expensive as far as I'm concerned.
No, I guess, but
I'm
I mean,
cheap,
if you're
I'm sorry.
drafting alpha, you're talking about
Yeah.
tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, like $100 is not money is no object fantasy money.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, just the obvious answer is just the most expensive thing you could possibly do, which is alpha. Although finding sealed alpha product is
Yeah.
not easy.
Triple Innistraad's real fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say Triple Innistrad.
It's like that's $30.
I know. I know.
Yeah, but I like that format, and I still don't want to pay $30 to draft it. Triple Zendikar, I really like.
I'm bad at Triple Zendikar.
I mean, I'm bad at it too, but it's fun.
Was
And the
that-
games are
yeah.
over quickly.
Yeah.
I mean-
We actually got to draft Powered Cube recently.
Yep.
The Magic Online Powered Cube one of our Kickstarter executive producers actually came to visit, and he made it. He made basically like an older version of it. It's not the newest version. The Magic Online powered cube.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, the power was proxy.
The power was proxy, but pretty much everything else was legit.
Yep.
And boy, that was fun.
Yep.
Yeah, cube is the best to draft.
That was a fun draft.
All right. Next up is, what do you think about the new card draw rule? So this is an interesting one.
The mulligan rule?
No, not the mulligan rule. So currently,
because you guys talked about the mulligan rule. When
Oh,
we
right,
were
right,
away,
yeah.
right?
So currently, as it stands, if you're playing in a competitive
Rules
event,
enforcement.
yeah. So if you're
level.
playing at like even F&M, not really, but if you're playing at like a Pro Tour qualifier, a PPTQ, a PTQ, a GP, or the Pro Tour, if you draw an extra card
It's a
and
game
it's
loss.
caught, it's just an automatic game loss. It doesn't matter if it was a mistake. It doesn't matter if you were cheating, whatever. If your opponent catches you drawing an extra card and calls a judge, you're going to get a game loss.
Yeah.
They've now since changed the rule that says if you're caught drawing an extra card, your opponent basically thought seizes you. They get to see your entire hand.
Yep.
They get to pick whatever card they want, and it's shuffled into your library.
Yeah.
That's the new rule.
Yeah.
That's actually, well, I mean, that's really bad for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot better than just losing the game, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
I think it's more fun, honestly. It's more
so-
sporting.
if what it means is if this is happening as an accident, it's not just oops lol you lose.
Right.
Which makes it way better in the cases where it's an accident. And it's still super punishing in a way that makes it not it's not worth it to try and cheat and draw extra cards intentionally.
Yeah.
Like it's not so much better than a game loss that it incentivizes anyone to actually try it, because revealing your entire hand to your opponent and having them pick the best card and having that card go away is still really bad.
That's still
Yeah.
like the worst.
So
No, I really like it.
I think the rules, I think it's good. And
Yeah.
again, this is not an official Magic rule, because the rule for Magic is just you aren't allowed to draw extra cards. That's the rule.
This is a judge call.
This is how judges are choosing to enforce the rule. And
Yeah.
previously, judges were just like, then you lose the game.
Yeah.
But now there's a post you can read on this on the judges blog from Toby Elliott, level 5 judge, where he explains the reasoning for this. And so this is now how judges will be enforcing that particular rule.
Yeah.
Is with this sort of reveal hand thoughtseize kind of effect. Which I mean the general response from pros has been basically what I just said, because I took what they said and repeated it here. This is not an original thought of my part, but. That it's a positive change, because it's not so good that it incentivizes people to cheat.
Yeah.
But it's way better than just losing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because you
absolutely.
effed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Look at me. I haven't sworn once all episode.
Next question. What
Yet.
old mechanic would you like to see? Epic. Epic.
Epic was so
Epic.
so stupid and so awesome.
So stupid. So
So
awesome.
there's only 5 cards.
5 cards.
printed with Epic.
Which is, I'm trying to think of
You have one in your
the
Snake Mander
least
deck.
used mechanic that isn't just completely made up. Like that.
Probably Epic.
I feel like it's Epic.
Like the least
Yeah,
used
there it
one
is.
outside of of Future Sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of Future Sight, that it basically a card that a mechanic that exists on more than one card, but the fewest of that, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's any mechanics that exist on 2 cards.
Well, there's some from Future Sight. There's like, I think like Delve was on a couple Delve was on Tombstalker and Logic Knot.
Yeah. Oh, but the Delve has made a comeback since.
It has
so
now, yeah. But anyway, the way Epic works, again, there's only 5 cards with it, is you cast the spell with Epic, and then for the rest of the game, you can't play any spells ever again. But you cast this spell every turn.
Yeah. So this card that's actually on screen is in my Snake Mander deck.
Yeah.
And it's 5 green for a sorcery. Put a 1/1 green snake creature card into play for each card in your hand, and then it has Epic. So you play this thing on, let's say, turn 8.
Yeah.
And let's say you have 5 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
So you're getting 5 snakes. And the next turn you draw a card.
But you can't cast anything.
But you can't cast anything, but you cast this again. It's at the beginning of each of your upkeeps.
Untap, upkeep, draw. So
you're actually actually doing it before your draw.
Yeah.
But 2 turns later, you're going to start getting 6.
More.
You just
and
get
then
more and
7,
more snakes.
And then 8, and then 9.
Well, you have to discard it in a
some-
turn, so it's...
But not if you have cards in your deck like I do that make it so you don't have a card or a hand limit. There's a couple cards in my Snake Commander deck based around this card that say I don't have
Have
to
you
have.
ever cast this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Has
was
it
pretty
worked out
funny.
for you?
It's a hell of a thing.
No, not really. It's pretty stupid.
Turns
but,
out board wipes are a thing.
but
Yeah.
epic.
Especially in Commander.
Oh, wow.
Riggers, Goblin riggers.
Everyone wants them to make riggers a thing. I mean,
Just
I
for the
do.
lulls.
Contraptions. Well, riggers aren't a
Contraptions.
mechanic, but contraptions are
Contraptions are a thing. Yeah, bring back that.
a thing. Yeah. This is one from Future Sight. It's a Steam Flogger boss,
That's the card.
which is a creature type goblin rigger. And it's other riggers you control have +1/+0 and have haste. By the way, when this was printed, this was the only rigger. The only other rigger was oracled to it. And then the text, if a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, it assembles 2 contraptions instead. They have no idea what that means. I mean,
I love it.
I'm sure Mark Rosewater has some thoughts, but they've never explained what that actually means or what this card is supposed
Assembling
to do.
contraptions. Bring it back.
Yeah, the Moriok rigger is now a rigger, even though it wasn't originally, just because it said rigger in the name. And they're like,
Yeah.
I guess it's a rigger. So now it's a human rogue rigger.
That sounds great.
I don't know what I'd like to see brought back.
I mean, I've already taken the dumb answer.
I'm trying to think of some other ones from Future Sight. There's a mechanic from original Ravnica block that I actually really liked, even though it was very confusing. And I don't actually think they should bring it back, but what is this?
This is
Your
banding.
Green Legends.
Sorry, Paul just put Adventurer's Guild House up on screen. It's a land. It doesn't even tap for mana.
Nope.
It just says all your green legends gain bands with other legends.
So I guess that's Paul's vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Haunt was
Ooh.
a really
Yeah.
flavorful mechanic that was very, very confusing. The way it works is you have a creature. The creature enters the battlefield. It has an ETB effect. So it enters the battlefield and it does a thing. When that creature dies, you exile it, haunting a creature, in air quotes. When the haunted creature dies, the original creature's enter the battlefield effect happens again.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
weird.
But I did enjoy the flavor of like, haha, I do my thing. Oh, you've killed me. I'm going to haunt you. And then when you die, I get to do my thing again because I'm free now because you're dead. It's,
It's super bad.
For example,
it's not good.
The card
but
on
I
the
love
screen is the Absolver Thrall.
Yeah.
When Absolver Thrall comes into play,
Or
hold on, it destroy target enchantment.
Great.
Cool. I mean, that's fine. Or when it dies, it has haunt. So when the creature that it is haunting dies, you also destroy target enchantment. So not when this guy dies.
That's
when
a
this guy
re-
dies, you
It's
attach
weird.
it to another
I like
creature
it.
as a haunt.
Yeah.
And then
Like-
when that creature dies, they destroy
That's a really bad
enchantment
ability
again.
to have on haunt.
Yeah.
Because typically your opponent gets to control when a creature dies, but I guess you could set up some sort of blowout.
You could.
What's
I
up,
mean,
Paul?
you don't have to haunt your opponent's creature. You can haunt yours.
Yeah, that's true.
Figure this one out.
Okay.
This is a sorcery that haunts something.
Oh, God.
What? Cry of Contrition, single black mana, sorcery. Target player discards a card.
Okay.
And
haunt.
so you make them discard, and then you haunt with it, and then when the haunted creature dies, then they
I mean,
discard a card again.
that makes
Okay.
sense. Like, that's fine. It's,
They're haunted by the ghost of somebody crying.
yeah. That's super weird.
Yeah.
Haunted by a sorcery. That is odd.
That's, yeah.
Haunted.
Well, extort was
Extort
a
was a
much better
yeah.
Orzhov mechanic.
I
all
agree.
right. What's
All right.
next?
All right, next question is, what fake mechanic would you like to see as a follow-up from the old mechanic?
Now, I interpreted this to mean one of two things: either a mechanic from the neural network,
Right.
or a mechanic that we've made up for Friday nights.
In that case, trombompoline, because that sounds really fun.
Yeah, I agree. Trombompoline.
Well, I don't think we're ever going to find out what Moynton Spalk does. So it's not a mechanic, but I really enjoyed, because it's actually playable, an earlier one of Paul's cards. It was an ability on one of his earlier cards, because it was in keeping with his character. It's the one where he puts... you can tap him to put an artifact creature into play, but it comes into play with 2 -1/-1 counters on it.
Right.
Because he made it faster, but worse.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh. What about something I just made up now? Cat Fancy.
Okay, what's Cat Fancy do?
When you cast a spell, you get a cat token.
That's very strong. How big is the cat token?
It's a 1/1.
That's quite strong.
Alternately, and this is the mode I would choose all the time, you can then pet a real cat.
Aw,
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah. So you could either get a 1/1 cat token, or you could pet a real cat.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, though, I'm such a
Who's-
spike, I would always choose the cat token.
Whose responsibility is it to provide the cat? Is it the tournament organizer?
Yes, this is TO.
That seems like a poor...
That's challenging.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
I like it.
Because where is that cat going to stay when it's just caged up? Like a
No.
little crate? And then
No.
when you cast a spell...
Oh, AWOL.
AWOL. Good
It's,
time.
Remove target attacking. This is a unhinged. Yeah,
Yes.
this is an unhinged card. Remove target attacking creature from the game, then remove it from the removed from game zone and put it into the absolutely removed from the frickin' game forever zone.
No.
Love it.
All right. Next question. What Magic podcasts would you recommend?
Oh, yeah. So the person who asked this question said that they found out about limited resources and Magic the Amateuring from us.
Right.
And are there any others that we would recommend? Well,
And
first of
if-
all, we recommend limited resources and Magic the Amateuring.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And constructed resources for that
That's
matter,
true.
too.
That's a really
Yes.
good point. If you're into constructed. Beyond that,
It depends what format you want to play, because there's a lot of good format-specific Magic podcasts, such as the Commander podcast.
yeah, the Commander Cast with Jay and Jimmy
Yeah.
that I was on recently over at Rocket Jump. That's a really good one.
I believe the professor does a podcast called Dice to Removal.
Is that a podcast?
Occasionally.
Okay.
I feel like it is.
I mean, he does
I could
good
actually be
YouTube
wrong.
videos.
I mean, you should just go and check out.
Yeah, you should
the
just go
man's
watch
YouTube
the
videos,
Tellurian
'cause
Community College anyway, because
Yeah.
That's just
videos
great.
are great.
Yeah, that's just great online content.
And you can just choose to not watch the screen, which makes it kind of a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Any video that you just turn
Yeah.
off the screen for, that's a podcast.
You'd be like,
And you're saving energy.
it's great. You're like, I really wish Taylor Swift did a podcast, but each one was just like 5 minutes long.
And it was
you can
just her singing a
Go
song.
to her YouTube channel and then just look away from the screen and be like, this is a nice podcast and so quick. Also,
Have you ever listened to Spielberg's podcast called Jurassic Park? It's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like how
I love
much
the
it leaves to the
soundtrack.
imagination.
Yeah.
It's really good sound design.
Paul?
If you're looking for a real short Magic podcast, there's always the Loading Ready Run Magic Crap Shots podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are very, very quick.
Whenever we do a crap shot that's Magic related.
There's also Drive to Work.
Yeah, I was going to
by
mention, because I
Rosewater.
know that myself and Paul like listening to Drive to Work with Mark Rosewater, which is him basically talking about designing Magic. He does a bunch of different ones, but the ones that I particularly like is when he will go through a set. It usually takes him like 3 or 4 episodes, but he'll go through a set exhaustively, card by card, and be like, this is why this card is like this. We tried to do it this way. We thought about doing it this way, but we did it this way for these reasons. And here's the entire story of this
If
card.
you want to see how the sausage is, or I guess hear how the sausage is made, then
Yeah.
Drive to Work is
Yeah.
great. And so hopefully that tickles your fancy for
Also-
something.
Yeah. Also, you get to hear him say, "Okay, I'm pulling out of my driveway." You know what that means.
Yeah.
Every single time.
All right. Next question. What defines a mythic for you? I mean, for me, it's a planeswalker. That's sort of the ultimate, like...
I want mythics to
Fancy
be
card.
ridiculous and splashy and only sometimes useful. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the perfect definition of a mythic.
Yeah, I like. I mean, apart from
They can't be too
planeswalkers,
functional, because then they'd just be an uncommon.
I like the ones. I like the mythics. Like, it's sort of one or two things. Either it's like bonkers powerful,
Yeah.
like mechanically powerful, or very, very flavorful and important to sort of the story or the setting. Like,
Yeah.
for example, the Hell Vault.
Yes.
Right? Maybe it's not like it obviously did powerful things, but it wasn't like an auto include in tons of decks. Like, it was okay, and you could kind of do funky stuff in limited with it. I don't know how much standard play it saw at the time, but this is on Innistrad. This is the Hell Vault where Avacyn and Grizzlebrand are imprisoned. This is important.
Yeah. And it needs to be.
I like having that as a mythic for sort of ascending it to a higher stature story wise.
And you like Hell Vault's perfect because, like I said, it's bonkers and ridiculous and kind of expensive, and it's only sometimes useful.
But there have definitely been some, because the rest of this question was, are there any mythics that have sort of missed that mark for you?
I mean, absolutely.
And yeah, there was one, I think it was from Innistrad actually, that was, I can't remember, it was a white spell. I want to call it Sunbringer's Touch, but it's not, because that's a recent green card from Dragons of Tarkir. It was something light. Someone's light. I can't remember. Anyway, we were reading it and we're like, why is this a mythic?
Yeah. I mean, that kind of happens basically once every set.
Yeah.
There's always kind of one super missed mythic that's just like,
Well, they pretty frequently on Channel Fireball, they pretty frequently do episodes of...
They do their hit and miss.
Hit or myth.
Yeah, hit or myth. Yeah,
That's the
right.
one.
Yeah.
Where they go through... They'll do an episode of Magic TV once for Archangel's Light. That's the one.
You're right. You gain
7 and a white. You gain 2 life for each card in your graveyard, and then shuffle your graveyard.
Yeah, it's like...
Why is that mythic?
That could,
Yeah. Why does it exist?
Why
well,
is it?
Very flavorful.
And then why is... I guess?
Yeah.
But I don't... Yeah, that's like... That could be a rare.
It could be an uncommon.
No, okay, hey, have you not heard my theory on the power level of cards?
No?
Okay. The best cards are always uncommons. Well, I put that joke in that Friday nights because I truly believe it. Uncommons are always the best because they're good, because they have to be better than commons. But they're not bonkers broken, which means they're not like overcosted or stupid like rares or mythics can be. Like uncommons are always like very functional cards. They're always just good.
So,
Right?
like, you mean on average?
On average.
Because there's obviously rares and mythics that are just
Are
Completely insane.
disgusting.
totally broken.
Like Wingmate Rock.
But you mean, like, on average there?
On average,
Okay.
you want to go for the uncommon.
I can see that.
Because, like, the average rare creature is kind of dirtily. The average mythic creature is probably... Oh, Wingmate Rock was a mythic, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
That card was bonkers.
Yeah, the card's bonkers
So-
good. But, like, the average mythic is probably more dirtily than the average rare, because mythics are supposed to be ridiculous. The average rare is probably more dirtily than an uncommon. Uncommons are usually just good.
All right.
Functional. Not flashy, but useful.
Just really quick to finish my thought. About every set, Magic TV does an episode. There's on Channel Fireball called Hit or Myth, and they'll go through the set and basically look at every single mythic and say, is this worthy of being a mythic?
yeah.
And they're interesting ones to listen to.
Wingmate Rock probably gets a thumbs up.
Oh, yeah.
It sure does. What's up, Paul?
I was just saying that I get kind of disappointed if I look at the Gatherer or Magic Cards.info page for a mythic, and there isn't a big bunch of Gatherer rulings of like Oracle rulings on the card.
Yeah.
Like if it's just like this is a really efficiently costed 5/5.
Yeah.
It's like a 5/5 for 3 vanilla,
It's like,
which is amazingly awesome,
yeah.
but not exciting.
Yeah.
All right. We're on the home stretch. 3 more questions. What
right.
card did you want to make work but couldn't?
Oh, I had something for this. I can't remember now. It was something recent. Was there something that we were trying to do in Fate or Cons?
I mean, there's always something that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I never personally got Goblin Slide to work.
Yeah, that's true. Although people
Like, I
did.
know that
like,
it did work.
It did work.
I never personally got it to work.
What was that terrible artifact? The tap and deal of damage It's like whip.
Oh, that was from Innistrad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
The razor tip whip.
Yeah, Razor Tip Whip, which is actually the card I think we have the most of in our MTGO collection.
Oh no, this was from Gatecrash.
No, Gatecrash, yeah.
Right. Because we were trying to do the no attacking thing.
Yeah.
So we tried to win off of Extort and Razor Tip Whip.
Yeah,
How'd it go?
not well.
Pretty sure we went 0-3, but it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, so Razor Tip Whip is a 2-drop artifact that just reads 1 and tap, and it deals 1 damage to target opponent.
Yeah.
So we do have like 24 of these or something like this in our collection, because I think we tried to make that happen more than once.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, it never really did work.
Yeah, we did make Crackling Perimeter work.
Yes.
That was the one where it was just a 2-drop enchantment. It was 1 and a red for an enchantment, and you could tap a gate to deal 1 damage to an opponent. Yeah, to each opponent.
Yeah.
And so you.
So you took as many crackling perimeters into as many gates. I remember this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It was
the thing
amazing.
is, crackling perimeters themselves do not get better in multiples, but
you
it's
take
more
2?
consistent. I think
Probably,
I think
yeah.
we
I
had
mean-
3 in the deck,
Right, to make sure you drew it. Because
Yeah.
that was your win con.
and then we had so many gates. It was so dumb.
Well, but it ruined everybody else's mana. It was fantastic.
Yes, it did.
Oh, it was so dirty. It was dirty, actually. It
Yeah.
was quite dirty. I don't take cards that I don't think are good, so I have no answer for this question.
All right.
Okay, Spike'ems.
What
I
is-
can't help myself. I'm just like, oh, this could be fun. Oh, but I like this card.
This
All
card's
right.
good. All right. What is the most one-sided game of Magic you've ever played? I mean, we've all had the games where our opponent mulligans down to 5 and never draws the land, and you just roll them.
But you had
That's
an
not-
opponent.
I had an opponent mulligan to 5 and then play like a turn and then concede, and then mulligan to 3 and then just straight concede without playing anything.
They went like mull to 6, 5, 4, 3, concede.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So that was pretty one-sided, although you could say I didn't play.
Yeah, that's not quite that. I wouldn't
But-
define that as a game.
Yeah, I mean, like just recently at
A
this
series
most
of unfortunate events.
at the most
maybe.
recent at the pre-release last weekend in my game 5 on Sunday, my opponent just never drew his third land and just couldn't cast anything, so I just went 2, 3, 4, 5 drop and rolled.
I had
Right?
a very.
So it's just like
I had a very like an actual interactive game at the GP. That was like it was. We both were casting spells, but everything they did, I had an answer to, and it was just like nope, 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 you die.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's like that's a good feel.
When I was when we started playing, I had a standard vampires deck, but back when Cawblade and Jace was in standard, that wasn't a very interactive game. I didn't get to play anything.
Nope. I kept
Blue black control with Jace and Cawblade and just
Jace kept bouncing on my stuff.
yeah, those were not what I would call fun games.
Actually, in the Powered Cube streamer showdown yesterday, in round 1, we were up against Neil Oliver with like
With
the
a storm
greatest
deck.
storm deck ever. And yeah, we were just like turn 3, turn 4,
turn 3 or 4, yeah.
and he was just
went
like
off.
do 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 do, and then he tanked for a while.
Yeah.
He was thinking in game 2, he was definitely working through the whole thing, and we're like, why is this taking so long?
It was
And-
complicated. Like
yeah.
it was not
And then-
an easy thing to do.
But it worked. He went
Yeah.
off, and we had 30 cards left in the deck, and he
Brain freezed us for 10.
Brain freezed us for 10. Milled out our whole deck. and it
Clearly,
was
we
like,
should have
pass
used
turn.
Kenji's strategy of siding into 1,200 lands.
For anyone who didn't see this, in the streamer showdown, the 6 p.m. slot, Kenji was up against
Scotty Mac.
Scotty Mac from the A team, and Scotty had, with Yan on his stream,
Yeah.
had a storm deck, and the only payload was brain freeze.
The only win condition was brain. Like he
That's
didn't
what I
even have- well, his only storm payload was brain freeze, but he didn't even have any other creatures really that could
Yeah.
do anything.
So
So
he had the brain freeze. So Kenji won the first game, and then in the second game, Scotty brain freezed him out. But Kenji got to see the whole deck and was like, all he had was brain freeze. And so in sideboarding, he boarded in 1,200 land.
yeah,
It made the client run very slowly.
yeah, it
It
definitely
was
made
like
climb.
F6.
Go.
And
Yeah.
it just meant that there was nothing that Scotty could do.
Nope.
'Cause it's like, I can't brain freeze you
Enough.
400 times.
Yeah. And surprisingly, a lot of people upset, which is weird. The whole nummy or scummy thing was born, and it's just like, no, it's not.
No, Scummy would have been, by the way, because Scotty had like 2 minutes on his clock.
Yeah.
Kenji could have very easily forced the clock and timed him out. That would have been Scummy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boarding in 1200 land is just funny, especially when you're doing a streamer showdown.
Yeah.
Where there's basically nothing on
There's
the line
nothing
and it's
on the
all for
line.
fun.
It's for
You
entertainment.
can see the other. You can watch the other side of it, and Scotty and Yan were like, "What? That's so rude!" Right?
Yeah.
But they were certainly
fine,
not. They were
yeah.
certainly not salty about it. They were just like, "Well, how do we win now? We
Yeah.
can't. Oh, we can't win now." And it's like, well, that's dumb,
what
but it's
happens.
magic.
Yeah.
Didn't Kenji only draw land though?
No,
No,
he
no, he
actually
actually
managed
drew
to cast.
like
he
two
drew
spells.
one.
He drew one spell.
Yeah.
And cast it.
He kept a card. He kept a 7 land hand.
Yeah.
Well, of course he did.
So
And drew-
he just timed out the other guy.
No, he just conceded.
Yeah, the other guy just, like, Scotty ended up just conceding because there's no possible way he could win the game.
Yeah, like the point, like he could have played it out once he found his payload, but there's no way to. He could, like the win condition for the deck was only to mill someone out, and there's no way he could get 400 copies of Brain Freeze on the stack to mill
Yeah.
him out.
So,
I thought it was really funny.
yeah, no, it was awesome. All right, last question.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on a IRL Momir Vig deck? Like cube?
We tried that once, didn't we?
Kind of? I mean,
When we first heard about Momir Vig, we didn't realize, or Momir Basic, we didn't realize it was a Magic Online thing.
Yeah.
And so we went to like magiccards.info and used their advanced search tools to find out what creatures we should do, and then
Yeah.
we like wrote little tokens for it, and then we're
Yeah.
like, oh, Magic Online. Oh, that makes way more sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is way easier.
So what would a Momir Vig Q be? It'd just be all the...
it would be, just be like from 1 until wherever you want to stop. Like, if you just wanted to, you could easily do a Momir Vig cube that's 1 drops to 10 drops, and like 100 of each.
Yeah.
Assuming, I mean, there are
There's obviously
100.
not
No, I
there's
think-
not 110 drops, but like maybe like 51 drops, 52 drops, 53s,
No.
all the way up, and then when you
What's
get to the higher,
What's the card that when you cheated in to play that you lose the game?
that's
Braves?
Phage.
That's
Phage.
Phage.
Phage is a 7 drop?
Yeah.
Only 7 drops.
Well, I mean, that's the flottery. That's what we play on stream.
yes,
yeah.
but that's the best.
But you could, for real, though, do like a Momir Basic Cube, like James said, with, like 101 drops, 102
Yeah,
drops.
like you could easily go down to your local game store and buy like 50 just super cheap common creatures in every CMC, and then just play. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing, and you just pick one at random, right? Like there's nothing that stops you. You could probably put one together for incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
It might not be like amazing, but you could do it. So
that could be fun.
yeah, and I mean, there's nothing stopping you from trying to get every single creature ever printed in Magic. I mean, that's insane, but it's doable to a degree.
By the way, for those of you
This really seems like something we should try.
Yeah, I don't know.
for those of you reading Phage and thinking, "Whoa, look at that second and third ability, I should make Phage my commander." Reread the first one. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
I've seen people making that mistake.
Yeah,
Phage, not a good commander.
don't do that. All right,
The second 2 things are so good.
that is it for all of our questions. That was all of them. Thank you so much for your questions.
Cool. Yeah. Next week, I guess we'll talk more about Magic Origins with some more play of it under our belts. Because
Yes.
I know you guys talked about...
Maybe you're away next week.
That's true.
I don't actually know what next week's Tap Tap is going to look like because I am literally the only person in town who really plays Magic that's going to be
James,
here. So
Solo
Maybe
James.
get some of our local friend
it's
guests
going to be
back.
some local friend guests, I think, next week.
Sounds
No,
good.
Just all James all the time.
Just Mono James.
Just Mono James.
It's a strong archetype.
Yeah.
What about you could split screen yourself into all 3 chairs?
Love it.
Ooh, I could do that.
Love it. And then just talk over each other.
It'll
Yeah.
talk amongst yourselves, really.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you for listening, and a reminder that Tap Tap Concede, as with all of our stuff, is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Please check it out. We really value your support because it lets us keep doing what we're doing,
Which is this.
which is this, among other things.
Yeah.
So check that out. And thank you for doing so. And we will talk to you, or some of us will. James and James will talk to you
Yeah.
next time.